all you need to know. The Bloomberg Quint podcast that prepares you for the day's business.
Good morning and welcome to this daily morning podcast from Bloomberg Quint. I'm Neeraj Shah, filling in for Alex Matthews for the day. Let's get started with the top stories. Retail inflation surged above the tolerance band of India's Monetary Policy Committee, pushed up by a surge in food prices and an increase in telecom tariffs. Consumer price inflation rose to 7.35% in December 2019, compared to a 5.54% in November. At current levels, inflation is at its highest levels since July 2014. Core inflation rose to 3.75% in December as well, from 3.5% last month. One can safely expect bond yields to shoot up in trade today. The quandary for a bond trader would be the overhanging actions of the Reserve Bank of India, namely Operation Twist, and what that could do to an otherwise predictable market reaction of the yields in the near term. The surge in inflation continues to be driven by higher prices across the food and beverages category. Inflation in that category rose to 12.16% compared to 8.6% in November 2019. The food and beverage inflation is at its highest level since December 2013. Vegetable prices surged to 60.5% in December over a year ago. Yes, you guessed it right, onion prices were the biggest sore spot. In other news, the Competition Commission of India asked its investigation wing to probe online retailers after the Delhi Vyapar Mahasangh, a lobby of small businesses, accused the e-commerce companies of anti-competitive practices. The order, which was posted on the regulator's website, comes ahead of the visit of Jeff Bezos scheduled in India later this week. In other news, ICICI Bank has approached the Bombay High Court seeking effect to termination of appointment of Chanda Kochhar as its managing director and chief executive officer, and also seeking recovery of amounts from her. On the global front, Apple, Tesla and Microsoft sent the S&P 500 and Nasdaq Composite to closing all-time highs. Gains extended after the US was set to plan to lift its designation of China as a currency manipulator. The S&P 500 gained 0.7% to close at 3,288, hitting a record high. The Nasdaq Composite also notched an all-time high, advancing 1% to 9,273 levels. Shares of Tesla continued to rise higher after the fourth quarter vehicle delivery surpassed expectations. Other positive developments boosting the stock included a Chinese official saying that the government will not significantly scale back electric vehicle subsidies this year. Remember, the stock of Tesla has gained 20% this year and 44% over the last 12 months. The phase 1 of the US-China trade deal is set to be signed on Wednesday in Washington. And with President Donald Trump's administration lifting the designation of China as a currency manipulator, it would remove an obstacle to the trade deal the two nations are set to sign. Also, the biggest American financial institutions kick off the earnings season, including JP Morgan, Citigroup, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, Morgan Stanley and BlackRock. The Fed's so-called beige book is due on Wednesday as well. So this sets up a very interesting global week for markets. It's now over to Darshan Mehta for taking a look at what's happening in India, with Asia looking like following the gains that we saw in the US markets. Darshan, good morning. How's it looking for India?
Hi Neeraj, good morning. Good morning everyone. Global cues seem to be on the positive side and the SGX Nifty is indicating a positive outlook. So we are headed in for a positive start today. But Wipro and IndusInd Bank are the two nifty companies that will come out with numbers today. Among the other one, there is Bandhan Bank, Mindtree, Network 18, TV18, Tata Steel, BSL, as well as Shiva Cement. In terms of results announced after market hours, weak results from Delta Corp. The revenues were flat while EBITDA was down 8%. That was impacted by higher expenses. Net profit was up 8% because of lower tax of 25% versus 36% last year. The casino gaming revenues were down 3% and that was impacted by the maintenance scene for one of the casino vessels for 25 days. Online skill gaming revenues were up 9%. Hospitality revenues were flat. Among the stocks to watch, Lind India has approved the slump sale of the Biloxi divestment business for 55 crores to Inox Air Products. NMDC has completed the execution of mining lease agreements of 4 mines in Chhattisgarh. The mining lease are valid up to 2035. IRCTC will be in focus. The Ministry of Railway has given approval to the company to operate the Ahmedabad-Mumbai Central Tejas Express. The inaugural run on January 17th and the commercial run starts from January 19th. In terms of bulk deals, Religare Enterprises will be in focus. Ashish Kacholia acquired 40 lakh shares, Mukul Agarwal acquired 26 lakh shares, and Axis Bank was a seller with 90 lakh shares. Anup Engineering, in which HDFC Standard Life sold in 53,000 shares, and Reliance Infra, in which IndusInd Bank sold 25 lakh shares. In terms of brokerages, HSBC has downgraded Motherson Sumi to a hold from a buy and raised the target price to 135 from 120. They are saying there's no room for error post the recent rally. Macquarie prefers Ultratech Cement, ACC and Shree Cement in the cement pack. They believe that the cement price hike and benign cost trajectory will aid the margins for the cement companies. But there's much more you need to know before trade actually starts. For that, log on to our website bloombergquint.com and click on the All You Need to Know tab and you'll be prepared for morning trade.
Thanks for that, Darshan. All of this sets us up for a very interesting day and a week ahead. I'll end this podcast with a quote from Howard Marks from his latest memo. He's drawn a parallel between investing and gambling, so I won't get into the details. But one of the quotes in that memo is, and I quote, "In the long run, superior skill will overcome the impact of bad luck. But in the short run, luck can overwhelm skill, and it might be difficult to distinguish between the two." Have a great day ahead, everybody.
I hope you enjoyed listening to All You Need to Know. Did you know that you could listen to the show on the IVM Podcast app? On the IVM Podcast app, along with this, we have a number of other shows which you think you'll enjoy. Listen to Cyrus Says with Cyrus Brocha as the host. Listen to Paisa Vaisa with Anupam Gupta. The Scene and the Unseen with Amit Verma. Or Shunya One hosted by Shiladitya Mukhopadhyay and myself. Check out the IVM Podcast app to get more talk content that you will enjoy.